Aloha, everybody. This is Lorraine with the IT team. I'd like to quickly go over some penetration testing and the system hardening that we will be conducting on the Metasploitable 2. In accordance with NIST Special Publication 800-115, the penetration testing process will begin with the reconnaissance, scanning, and analysis with ethical, effective testing in adherence, giving strict permissions. Following the planning phase, penetration testing activities would proceed through a discovery phase defined in the NIST SB 800-115. This phase includes network mapping, port scanning, service enumeration, and vulnerability identification. Automated scanning tools will be used to identify the exposed services, outdated softwares, and known vulnerabilities. Once vulnerabilities are identified, the test would move into the attack phase where vulnerabilities are analyzed for exploitability, consistent again with the guidance through NIST. NIST also emphasizes that pen testing provides organizations with realistic adversarial assessment of security controls. Unlike compliance-based assessments, pen testing demonstrates how vulnerabilities can be exploited in practice and how multiple weaknesses can be chained together to compromise a system. From an organizational perspective, pen testing supports risk management, continuous improvement, and informed decision making. NIST SP 800-115 places strong emphasis on control, accountability, and documentation throughout the testing process. If a failure in following procedure occurs, such as exceeding scope, misconfiguring a tool, or deviating from approved testing plan, the pen testing would be paused immediately. The deviation would be documented and the testing plan would be reviewed. Here we show the Kali and Metasploit 2 can reach each other. The ETH0 shows an active interface IP address of 192.168.56.105. The network address is the 192.168.56.0/24, confirming connectivity. The reconnaissance and enumeration that we just completed in the previous slide shows also the vulnerability scanning of the Nmap. Scan results prove an active interface. The IP address is confirmed. Metasploit 2 is configured and reachable. The analysis and validation shows the tester can now review scan results to determine exploitability and risk. Documentation is to record the findings, severity, and potential impact using the uname and password MSF admin as a successful login. The reconnaissance and enumeration shows that a NictoWeb vulnerability scan was performed against the Metasploitable 2 Apache web server. The scan revealed an outdated Apache version missing security headers, exposed administration, interfaces such as phpMyAdmin, directory indexing, and sensitive configuration files, all of which significantly increases the system's attack services. The Nikto scan results proves the IP address is confirmed, and the target port 80 is also running the Apache 2.2.8 server, which is outdated. This missing security headers, phpinfo.php, is exposed. The phpMyAdmin is publicly accessible. Potential XST vulnerability. Apache version is eolwp.config.php is a sensitive file exposed and is subject to directory traversal risk. So recording these findings, severity, and potential impact using the uname and password. Here we show the OWASP ZAP configuration issues, absence of the anti-CSRF tokens, the missing anti-clickjacking header. The header is not set. The X content type options header is missing. So this occurs, the information occurs when a system reveals an internal details that should not be accessible to users or attackers. This information can include system configuration file paths, software versions, or internal network data. Even when the disclosed information is not immediately exploitable, attackers can use it for reconnaissance, enabling them to craft targeted attacks, identify known vulnerabilities, and reduce the time required to compromise a system, which can increase overall attacks. This happens when the application displays detailed error messages instead of generic error responses. These messages reveal stack traces, database errors, and file paths or backend logic. These detailed error messages provide attackers with insights into how the application is structured, including programming languages, frameworks, and database interactions. This enables the application mapping, reveals sensitive backend logic. The server leaks version information occurs when the web server discloses the exact version of the server software, like the Apache 2.2.8, which is outdated. The Nessus scan vulnerability found multiple identified vulnerabilities, and they're rated low, but when they are stacked and compiled, can produce a greater risk. This high risk unpatched services open ports. Medium risk is the web configurations. The low risk, the informational disclosures. The gaps identified here are the lack of path management, excessive exposed services, and no service hardening. The high risk unpatched services are shown here. The expected results is to reduce the attack surfaces. So, system hardening implementation are shown here. Here are 4 different screenshots that are expandable where the changes were made. Number 1, the changes from the options indexes from follow system links multi-views to options follow system links to disable the directory indexing the contact negotiation, which directly mitigates the direct browsing and information disclosure. Scan 2 identified the application error disclosure, server version disclosure. The PHP info.php exposes the PHP version, loaded modules, file paths, environments and variables, and server configuration. This is considered a high-risk information disclosure and is commonly exploited during reconnaissance. The third screenshot, PHP MyAdmin, existed and was enabled via Apache config files, so now it's been disabled. Prior to mitigation, PHP MyAdmin was installed on the Metasploitable 2 system and enabled through an Apache configuration file. The configuration file was removed and Apache restarted, disabling the PHP MyAdmin administrative interface without uninstalling the application. And the fourth and final screenshot, the Nmat Nessus findings showed Telnet exposed, sends the credentials in clear text, enabled credential sniffing and system hijacking. It's deprecated in favor of SSH by disabling the Telnet. Why these changes? Low cost, high impact, and a quick implementation. Lessons learned. The implementation does not have to cost a high amount, and it does not take a lot of time. Vulnerabilities impacted remote exploitation risk, credential compromise, and web-based attacks. The conclusion is that pen testing exposed critical risks, mitigation significantly reduced vulnerabilities, and ongoing assessments are